Hey everybody, welcome to Enliven Wellness. My name is Tessa Gurley. I'm an integrative medicine practitioner in training, here to tell you about some of your top CIRS, Lyme, and mold symptoms. Today we're talking about brain fog, which is that feeling of you know what I'm talking about. If you've suffered from brain fog, you know what I'm talking about. It sucks. Now, before we get started, make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video so that I'm going to give you a couple of my top pointers for how to help fix some of these root causes of those symptoms. Now, also, please make sure you subscribe and share these videos and comment as well. And if you're interested in working together one-on-one, email me at tgurley7@gmail.com and we'll get you started, and just say I'm ready. All right, number one cause of your brain fog, oddly enough, in my experience and in my opinion, is gut dysfunction. Now, everyone out there probably has some form of gut dysfunction, for sure, for real. That was the story of my life. And the healthier my gut has gotten, the less brain fog I experience, because brain fog was like one of my last symptoms to go, and I can feasibly say now that basically I am like about 100%, probably about like 90 to 100% done with brain fog. Done. Gonzo, gone. And it's been because of healing my gut. Now, let me explain what happens with why you get brain fog from gut dysfunction. Okay, so and if I have to glance down a little bit, it's just because I have a couple of little notes here. Now, the gut dysfunction, and it's linked to brain fog, could be, number one, candida. Now, why? Because candida overgrowth, oddly enough, actually, candida can release alcohol, aka acetaldehyde, in your system. So when you have a candida overgrowth, essentially what's happening is you're getting a lot of fermentation in your gut, and you're literally creating you have a little brewer's factory going on in your belly, and it's creating alcohol that gets released into your system, and it can make you feel drunk. There's actually been instances, I actually heard of an instance of a woman who went to the ER, and she was driving, and they said that she was driving drunk, and it wasn't that she was drunk, she had bad candida. So it could be candida overgrowth if you're having a lot of brain fog and you eat, and then the food will go into your belly, and you basically have like a complete, think of like a brewery. You have that going on in your gut. So you're going to get brain fog because of the alcohol that's being released into your system. Now, also, you can have things like SIBO, just bacterial overgrowth in general. It may not be candida necessarily, but it may be a bacterial overgrowth like SIBO, in which case and we'll get into this in the next section, but in which case probiotics may not be your friend. I'll tell you about that later. Now, sometimes gut dysfunction is specifically in CIRS, Lyme, and mold patients and people. It could be due to a low melanocyte stimulating hormone, aka MSH. Now, MSH is a really, really important hormone, and it's involved in things from concentration, but mainly if you have a low MSH, you're going to have a leaky gut. So it's really important to take care of that MSH level if you're trying to heal from this. And this gut dysfunction can result in brain fog. So number one cause of this brain fog, in my opinion and in my experience, was gut dysfunction. And again, it could also be things like parasites. It could be low stomach acid. It could be gallbladder and liver dysfunction, right? So it may not just be like the leaky gut situation. It could also be a dysregulation or a problem with the organs of digestion as well. So brain fog, number one reason, gut dysfunction. All right. Now, number two, it also could be due to a weak prefrontal cortex. Weak prefrontal cortex. Now, a lot of people who are suffering from Lyme, CIRS, and mold, and any of these other chronic conditions have a weakened prefrontal cortex, not just because of toxins, but also because of things like trauma in your background. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but it could be because of trauma in your background, and you're in a state of constant fight, flight, or freeze. It also could be due to inflammation from things like Marcons. It could and exposure, right? So like, sorry, I'll get back. Somebody called. Anyway, you could have inflammation in your frontal lobe that could be causing this brain fog. Now, So it could be due to traumas, it could be due to an overactive limbic system. Yeah, you guys have probably heard me drop this term a lot. It could be due to that overactive limbic system, and your prefrontal cortex may be like offline. And then therefore you can have brain fog as a result of this. I know that sounds a little bit maybe woo-woo to people, but if you have a weakened prefrontal cortex, you're also going to be suffering from things like brain fog. Why? Because your prefrontal cortex is the center of higher learning, concentration, focus. So if you're having an inability to focus and you're having that brain fog too, you know, you could also be under a lot of chronic stress, and that's going to cause your prefrontal cortex to shut down because your limbic system will be taking over, and your prefrontal cortex will basically just go to sleep. Okay, now another thing that could be happening is if you're overstressed, oddly enough, you can get brain fog as a mechanism to, your brain will literally is trying to take care of you in certain situations, and your brain can go, under too much stress, I'm going to get foggy because I can't even handle this stress. So I'm going to check out. So that could also be something that's going on. So a weakened prefrontal cortex is another reason why you could have, or a damaged or inflamed, you can have, let me back up. There are certain areas of your brain that will become inflamed due to these different chronic conditions. If you're interested in like seeing if you have inflammation, go get something called the neuroquant. All right, that is a brain MRI that you can get to see where the inflammation is in your brain. But right now I'm specifically just talking about the prefrontal cortex because that is one of the areas that for me, the more that I regulate and strengthen my frontal lobe and my prefrontal cortex, the better I feel and the less brain fog I have. Okay, now number 3 can be due to poor sleep. And poor sleep hygiene, not deep enough sleep, bad sleep. That can also be one of the leading causes of your brain fog. Now let me explain a little bit more. So your brain literally detoxes while you sleep, and it rebuilds. And so if you are not getting good adequate sleep, then your brain is not able to detox. Now you can be getting poor sleep caused by things like stress or inflammation, which will cause the stress. It's a vicious cycle. And again, MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Get to know this hormone really well, but it could be due to MSH problems because MSH is also linked to poor melatonin levels in your brain and in your body. And if you have poor melatonin in your body, you're not going to be getting deep sleep. Don't worry, there are ways to fix this. But if you're not getting adequate sleep, you guys, and you're like staring at the screens way too late at night, and you're not wearing your blue light glasses, and you're not, taking care of, false light at night, you're not using candlelight, you're not sun gazing in the morning, and I'm gonna get to some tips here in a little bit. But if you are not getting adequate sleep and you're not practicing good sleep hygiene, then you're also going to have brain fog. So number 3 reason for your brain fog is poor sleep. So now let's get to a couple of pointers about how to overcome some of these issues. For number 1, gut dysfunction. For me personally, it's been going to the carnivore. I do raw carnivore, but you can go to the carnivore approach. That's the only diet that's ever fixed my digestion, period, hands down. But there are other ways, of course. You don't have to do carnivore, raw carnivore. It's just the only thing that's helped me. But you want to look for underlying food allergens. You want to make sure that you are not taking just regular probiotics. You need to make sure you're taking the right strains, all right? And maybe not any strains for a period of time because you might have an overgrowth and it's just going to be feeding the fuel, all right? Like, it's just not good. So you need to make sure that you are addressing gut dysfunction, taking away the irritants, adding in, good probiotics, possibly doing some kind of kill off. Fasting regularly, I think, is really important, giving your digestion a rest, making sure that you are eating the nourishing gut healing foods, which vary in people's opinions and experiences, but we'll get to that later in another video. For right now, I'm just going to give a couple of pointers that have helped me, and that was doing raw carnivore/carnivore, specific food combining, specific probiotics like therapies. I personally really like the spore-based probiotics and like soil-based probiotics over any of them, but in my opinion. And then also really like checking in on histamine and optimizing for my MSH. Now, how can you really quickly optimize for MSH? And this is going to take care of my number 1 and number 3 recommendations for how to also regulate sleep. cold thermogenesis. So you can definitely help your MSH levels by taking cold showers and doing ice baths. Y'all know, if you're part of my channel, that I'm a big fan of cold thermogenesis. Give it a try. So now, for the prefrontal cortex and to re-regulate your frontal lobe, meditation. That's like my #1 recommendation to help. And it legitimately, you guys, meditation / prayer, taking time to stop your thoughts, legitimately heals holes in your brain. It's shown on brain scans. It's not woo-woo, bullshit, hippie shit, okay? And pardon my language, but it's not, okay? It is legitimate, and it will heal holes in your brain. That is it. So to help, and then you can also, like, when you meditate and you quiet your thoughts, you can also rewire your brain, and you can help with hypothalamic dysregulation and to chill down and calm down that overactive limbic system, which can also be causing your brain fog. Now, other pointers for how to get better sleep. #3, again, help with your MSH. You know, you need to optimize for MSH. Among other things, I'm just talking about MSH right now. You can take cold showers again, but you also need to practice sound sleep hygiene. Get yourself some blue light glasses. The link is in the description box down below. Pick up some, make sure you wear those at sundown, use candlelight, you know, don't be on your tablets too late at night unless you're watching my live streams, but wear your blue light glasses when you're watching my live streams. So again, make sure you're practicing sound sleep hygiene, okay? Now, I hope that this video was helpful, and again, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, please email me at tgirly7@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to set you up with a free 30-minute consultation, and we can work together. It's just so much fun. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that you're notified when I go live. And I go live every night practically, and we have a lot of fun. So, and I always do Ask Me Anything Tuesdays at about 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard. So make sure you join us. And yes, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, social media. Everything's in the description box down below. I can't wait to hear from you if you're interested in working with me. I love you. I hope this video was helpful. Have a great, great day. Okay, bye.